This is my goal, the max cape. With the clock always ticking, I want to do it in the shortest gameplay time possible, as an Ironman. Because I chose to be an Ironman, this helmet next to my name prevents me from trading anybody or using the Grand Exchange, so I have to get all the items myself. Since pathing is essential on an Ironman, a lot of theory crafting and planning goes into this max cape run, and thankfully we have a great guide to follow. Look at this guy. Genuinely, the hardest quest boss in the game for mid-level combat accounts. Today, either I am going to kill him, or he is going to kill me. While I do finally have the requirements for this quest, I'm not mentally ready to fight him with my current combat stats. So let's go heavy prepare for the biggest fight of this account. There's really only one problem with the Sins of the Father quest. For Ironman specifically, a massively efficient GP maker is right behind it, Sepulcher. I have been poor since I created this account 3 months ago, but I swear that will all change once I get to Sepulcher. Even though I technically have the stats and am ready to start Sepulcher, my combat stats feel low based off of past experiences with this boss fight. So I asked myself, how can I get as many combat levels as possible before the fight without screwing myself over? I ended up reading ahead, Chapter 3 of the Bruzsailor Guide, desperately trying to find something I can do for combat XP that I was already prepared for. Eventually, I got to the Slayer step. Early game efficient Slayer is extremely complicated, because most of the calculations for it assume that you already have Slayer points. And while you do profit Slayer points, the first 1.5k go towards unlocks, so it takes quite a while before you're comfortably doing only good tasks. With the help of some friends and a familiar Slayer method if you've seen my other videos, I knew that with the help of alts, I could make Wildy Slayer boosting for points efficient on this account. The first step to start my Slayer grind is to get a Black Mask, because the Black Mask provides a 16.67% attack and strength boost against all monsters on task. It is a 1 in 512 drop rate against cave horrors, which only have 55 HP, so I'm actually able to kill about 300 per hour. I started this at 62 attack, but here I am hitting level 64, not even 200 kills in yet. Coming up near the end of my trip, the ensouled heads that I have in my inventory will end up being a lot of prayer XP later on. But the funny thing is, being a newbie level 3 main account, I didn't know this my first trip, but I can bring the runes to turn these into prayer XP, and use it while I'm there. Now that I know of this, I'll be doing this for all monsters that give head. Look how easy this is. I don't even have to pick it up, it can just stay on the floor. And it's really that simple for 800 prayer XP. I was having so much fun getting so many kills per hour that I kinda forgot we actually want good RNG here so we can move on. But you know what they say, don't ask and you shall receive. That's right, I actually didn't go dry for once. I got my mask at 297 KC. Don't forget to like the video if you're proud of my RNG. Remember this method, Barbor? I never actually finished 99 fishing, but I was able to grow more herbs over the days of the other grind, so I figured I'd get some extra strength XP before jumping into Slayer. And of course, with that strength XP, I'm also going to be getting fishing. Here's level 96. 97 fishing. 74 strength. 75 agility. 84 cooking, 98 fishing, and the final strength level before 99, 75 strength. It would be nice to finish up 99 fishing, however, we are once again out of herbs, so while we grow more, let's head over to train Wildy Slayer for points. I crafted myself some slaughter bracelets just in case we find a task that seems to be amazing, and then I made my way over to Cristelia for our first Wildy task. I do remember getting a normal task in Zenaris for the Lumber's Diary, however I figured I'd just skip it. But I found out I only have 25 points, so I guess now we make our way towards Basilisks. A task like this is a prime example of why we don't do non-Wildy Slayer without Slayer points. I would have skipped this if I could. For this task and many wildy tasks, you'll notice that I'm using Expeditious bracelets. These have a 25% chance of having 1 kill count as 2 towards your task, thus speeding up the task, giving me my Slayer points faster, and less time spent at shitty tasks. I have to say, I'm genuinely shocked at the fact I'm able to get 75k an hour attack XP with the Mirror Shield. This is just insane. With the task complete, let's make our way towards Crystalia for a wildy task. Here we go. I got 100 skeletons. Believe it or not, this is a good task. Here's a level up already, 66 attack. My only goal in the wilderness is to complete 50 tasks. I don't care if I get 5k Slayer XP or 500k. I just want to get the 50 task bonus for points as fast as possible. There are 3 categories of tasks that I can split wildy into. The first one is low HP tasks. These are typically less than 10 minutes and this is the best thing I can get. The second thing is a high HP single task. These are about 15 to 20 minutes per task. This is pretty awful, but at least it gives me good melee XP for Sins of the Father. And the last one is the high HP multi-tasks. These are about 10 to 15 minutes per task and still good melee XP. This is where I'll be using my ult to come in to help. So with the skeletons coming to an end, let's grab a new task. You guys might remember me grinding Dragon Imps for a glory a few episodes ago, and the reason I needed that glory is because of Wildy Slayer. I was able to mount it in my POH so that I can have infinite teleports to Edgeville with just one house tab for Wildy Slayer. It was an absolute necessity in order to grab a new task. The next task we get is Magic Axes, which I'll consider another low HP singles task. I didn't bring Thralls because I didn't realize how much HP these actually have, but I learned my lesson for next time. I'll still consider this a pretty quick task. It should be about 9 to 10 minutes, and it's even better because the attack XP is flying. One important note for this account as well is for nearly all tasks, I'm going to be bringing an ult with the Crystal Bow to scare away PKers. I'm sure most of you know, 95% of PKers will only attack people who can't fight back. So seeing somebody who isn't skilling typically scares them away. This works 75% of the time, all the time. The next task is yet another low HP sub 10 minute task, so let me fast forward until we find something new. Spiders, man. These are another fast task, but this is like a god tier fast task. They legit have 2 HP, so for the most part, they are one-hittable. Hey, that's why we say for the most part. Moss Giants were a singles task with pretty high HP. I did try doing this funky shit where I lowered the HP with an ult, but honestly it was pretty useless. I've just never done this task before, despite all of my past experience with Wildy Slayer, so it was just me trying something new. It happened again at a Fire Giants task. Although these were really good combat XP and decent Slayer XP, the only problem is it was such a long task. It's the same story as Moss Giants where I tried damaging them on an ult to speed it up, but since it was singles, the help was so minimal to where it didn't really matter. I got a few of these Fire Giant tasks during the Wildy grind, and I will say another upside to it is there's barely any PKers here, so it's a pretty chill task. I'm happy with it. Bloodvelds were the first task that I got that I was finally able to utilize my ult. Here is where Wildy Slayer proves to be really worth it if you have access to a combat ult. Bloodvelds are a pretty long task, having 134 HP each. However, since they are in multi-combat, there's a pretty unique mechanic that I can utilize. Slayer XP on each monster is rewarded in 2 ways. Whoever deals the most damage and whoever deals the last hit. Because it's multi-combat, I can time my attacks to hit the same tick as somebody else. This way the game thinks that I dealt the final hit, even if I hit a 0. My strategy for multi-combat tasks is to kill a couple of NPCs for full Slayer XP and drops, while my ult deals damage to a couple other NPCs. When my ult's NPCs are ready to die, I walk over and bonk them at the same time as my ult attacks, giving me half Slayer XP, and more importantly, kills towards my task to speed it up. I'm already up to my 19th task, so as you could imagine, we're flying through this. Black Knights were a pretty fast task, and very easy because I could pretty much AFK them since they auto-retaliated. Here's 70 attack. A bit later, on a different task but the same monster, 62 Slayer. I told myself before I started the Slayer grind that I would probably just skip all rev tasks, but I ended up getting assigned 48 of them, so I decided I'd give them a shot. I'm not sure if this was worth it because I had to spend 100k to even get in the cave, and it's a hotspot for PKing. However, the imps have 10 HP, so all my strategy was for this task is to log in, hit 2 of them, hopefully one hitting them, and then immediately log out and repeat once they respawn. Speaking strictly of playtime, this task was definitely worth it, but from the mental and realistic aspect of it, it was not. I got a rev task in the future later on, and I did end up skipping it, so this was a one-time thing. That was our 31st task, we're getting there. Scorpions were yet another task that you needed an ult. There are these scorpions with 2 HP inside the cave that Scorpio is located, which is a wildy boss. Scorpio will easily kill you, however, if somebody is tanking it or killing it, you will be able to keep killing the things with 2 HP and your task will be done as quick as the spiders. That brings us to our 43rd completed task, only 7 to go before the big boss fight. I made the switch over to train strength after 71 attack, as I figured a couple more strength levels would prove itself to be more valuable than the attack levels. This lesser demon task was my 49th task. I'm using the same strategy I did for Bloodvelds, and as you can see from the XP rates on screen, it is pretty decent, but the fact that this task still takes less than 15 minutes is the real highlight. On my way now to go see the last task, and we got Bloodvelds. This task definitely grew on me, because despite having to wear bad gear to protect myself from some of the enemies since we're in the God Wars, I still get 80k combat XP and 25k Slayer every hour. Along with that, with my ult helping me, this task still takes less than 15 minutes. And here's the end of this grind. 50 wilderness task completes, 1.5k points. Let's go see how many unlocks we can get. I'm going to be buying broader fletching to fletch broad arrows, a Slayer helm, ability to craft Slayer rings, and I'm going to completely block Fossil Island Wyverns. A 10-hour grind spent in 20 seconds. Now that I have 40 points, it's best for me to do another 10 tasks before I jump into actually training Slayer. However, we're not going to actually start training Slayer until way later, and I think I'm comfortable enough with my combat stats now to do the quest. So we'll just come back at a later date. Over the last couple days that it took me to do Wildy Slayer, I did manage to bank enough herbs for 99 fishing, so we're gonna quickly bang that one out. I also did some research and noticed that since I am 85 Herblore, I'm high enough to make Zamorak mixes. These mixes are the best mix that I can make on this account with the future potions I'll be mixing, aka the best herb XP per caviar. So what better time to do it than in between fishing ticks? I have not used any torsals in my bank yet, so I looted some Jenga berries, and now I'm going to make as many Zambi brews as I can, and get some fat Herblore XP during my last 1 mil fishing XP. And just like that, we casually get 16k herb XP every hour during fishing. I wanted to end fishing with the bang, so I figured I'd do 500k fishing XP in one sitting, no leaving for farm runs or birdhouses or anything. These were the rates we were able to hold. 106k fishing and 14k herb. Yes, we clearly had to lower our tier of potion once we finished all the Zambi brews, but all this Herblore XP that I got had me thinking. I'm going to be very close to level 86 before Sins of the Father. I didn't plan this, but because I'm such a high Herblore level from fishing, this made me change my plans just slightly. Once the gang was all here, we got our second 99, fishing. And here is the absolute final prep for the final boss fight on Sins of the Father. I'm going to finish up 86 Herblore and then use a pie that I already have banked for a +4 herb boost and make a super combat. This will save me 2 inventory spaces because I won't need to bring a super attack or defense. And I mean, I'm 20k XP off. What's the harm of doing it now? Here's level 86 Herb, followed by making a super combat. If you are curious how many contracts it took for me to get 99 fishing with barbed pots, the answer is 902. How long did this take? Well, I hit 82 farming around May 30th, and that was when going super hard on contracts really started. It was also around this time that I learned the power of Chrono Seeds. At 82 farming, I had about 150 contracts completed, which means it took me about 40 days to complete 750 contracts, which equates to about 18 to 19 contracts a day. This might sound like a lot, and I think it is, but contracts were the sweatiest thing I was doing on this account, as it meant everything for me getting 99 fishing sooner so that I can start playing this account for more hours per week. That being said, if you're really dedicated to contracts and do your pre-plants, such as where you can do 3 to 4 contracts each visit to the farming guild here and there, it's not impossible for this to be mimicked or even better. Stay strong on your farming contract grind, and don't forget the power of Chrono Seeds. Not only that, but all of the tree seeds I got from the contracts as well got me to level 97 farming already. And I was only planting anything that gives more than 7k XP, such as U's and above. It's now time for the long-awaited Sins of the Father boss fight. I decided to pre-pot at the bank, and man, I was just so nervous about this. Just a friendly reminder that this fight took over 8 attempts on my last account, so it was kind of a big deal. But this account was ready. I hard prepped this for 3 months, because in some ways, the minute I created my account, my goal was set on unlocking Sepulcher. Everything I did was for this big fight. I even managed to get super combats, which I am probably the only Ironman in the game to have 86 Herb efficiently before this boss fight. Let's see the result. That's right, you witnessed it here first. RSN 789, the Ironman speedrunner, will officially be known as the one attempt only Sins of the Father boss fight gamer. Make sure you like the video and tell all of your friends about this epic fight. Now, with Sepulcher unlocked, epic gains are coming up in the next episode. Let's do a recap to see the gains this week. On the left are my stats from last week, the middle is my current stats, and the right are my gains. Our total EHP is now 349, so considering our 448 hours played, we are exactly 99 hours behind 1-to-1 EHP. Nothing unusual, but the real question is, will we be able to stay under 100? I got no clue, but finishing the account at 100 puts us at a 1700 hour finish, which is 100 hours ahead of our goal. Anyway, boys and girls, now is a good time for me to sign off, so don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe comment and subscribe as well. As always, TY for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.